Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope forecast for week commencing the 31st of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now what I'm going to do is provide a broad overview of what we can expect, but then as ever dive deep to give you in forensic detail the insights for each of the 12 zodiac signs, so please stay with me for that. This week begins with a sensational new moon in the sign of Aquarius. So what is a new moon? A new moon is an opportunity to set our intentions. We don't actually see the moon in the sky in most parts of the world. It's an opportunity, however, to really direct our energies into the part of our situations that particular new moon influences. So the sign of Aquarius is very much about the future. It's about friendships, collaboration and cooperation. So all those things can really come to the fore over the next 4 weeks. But this particular new moon also has, ironically, the two ruling planets or co-regents of Aquarius in somewhat of a quarrel. Saturn's part very close to the Sun and the Moon in Aquarius, and Uranus, the higher octave modern ruler of this sign, is on the 4th house cusp, and that's very much to do with home, family, emotions. But in terms of the overall zodiac, Taurus is house 2, where Uranus is. So I think if we're thinking of mixing business with pleasure, it may not be the best over the next 4 weeks, unless there's a very clear understanding of who does and contributes what, and that could work okay. But this week actually does see some glittering alliances, not least that Venus, the planet of love and affection, well, that is going to be inching its way towards a close conjunction with Mars, which really begins right at the end of this week. But Venus does forge, ironically, a beautiful link to Uranus, and then Mars, also in the sign of Capricorn, along with Venus, that's forging a very dynamic angle to Jupiter. Now when these two get together, it really can give us greater self-confidence and drive. We're going with the flow, we're not so hesitant. It can give us that much more extra momentum and self-confidence, and it comes into an exact sextile on Saturday towards the end of the week. But in relation to the other big influence of this week, that new moon, I think what it's saying to us is the sign of Aquarius can be quite idealistic, and it's just saying that as long as we look for tangible results through that earthy energy that's being manifested through Venus and Mars in the sign of Capricorn, in its or their link to Uranus in the sign of Taurus, as long as we look for earthy solutions and we're open-minded and we take the innovation of Aquarius, we can make progress. However, if we're too idealistic about what we expect, then that's when we may feel like our wings are really being clipped, that we're not flowing, things are not flowing quite as we want. So it's about staying grounded, but also open-minded. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, I've been writing these for 25 years, please see the link beneath this video and you can get that each morning, and it would be lovely to have you with me. Also, if you'd like to take advantage of my special package, special offer package of a year's forecast and a character analysis and get 30% off, if you've yet to really get into more serious natal astrology, this is a wonderful opportunity to do so. You can ascend above this zodiac broadcast and really understand what things are going to unfold for you as an individual based on your time, date and place of birth over the next 12 months into the early part of 23. Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 31st of January. This week begins with that new moon in your sign. A new moon is an opportunity to refresh, to reset, to refocus on the things, in your case, that are very important to you at an individual level. The first house is about, in some ways, new beginnings, but it's also about our physicality. It is also about where we want to be a little bit more uniquely ourselves, something you often have a talent for. But of course, your two rulers are in conflict around this event. Don't worry, they've been in conflict for a year. And that has given you a lot of experience and knowledge to understand what is a trigger point for you and what is an opportunity. It's just that you've had to work within very tight parameters. It's possible that your physical vitality has been lower in that year, for example. And there's been quite a lot of tensions around home-based issues, the family, your need for security, and a lack of space, too much space, a need to perhaps change your immediate environment. All of these things have been factors in how you manifest that individuality. But this is still an opportunity, this event. It's just that Saturn is asking you to take your ideas very seriously, and Uranus is saying just expect that there may be some resistance, but not necessarily in the ways that you can anticipate, because Uranus, as you know, is very unpredictable. But what I can tell you about this week is that if you've really done your prep and you've really, over that year, really identified the things that are crucially important to you, those are the areas that you can still make significant progress with over this next month. And also the things that you've been doing behind the scenes, the deeper work. Maybe some of it has been deep within yourself, you know, working on past experiences, painful life lessons. Come into terms with those things. Mercury is in a retrograde as this week begins, so someone may be out of touch that you would prefer wasn't out of touch, or there may be some sense of inhibition or a little bit of tension or anxiety, but by the middle of the week that can become more fluid. And remember, Mercury returns to your sign on the 14th, so any kind of logjam around people being in touch, that will ease by then. But there are still glorious opportunities for you to actually benefit from a lot of hard practical work that you've been doing behind the scenes that may not be very obvious to others, and perhaps does in some ways slip your attention at times. So because Jupiter is the pivot planet this week, and it's in your sector of everyday resources and self-worth, but it's linking brilliantly to your modern ruler Uranus, and Venus is linking brilliantly to Uranus, and then by the end of the week with Mars, and Mercury's going forwards. I think slowly but surely as this week goes on, as long as you stick to what is really important and you don't get distracted, you're going to start to gain more confidence and more assurance that all that hard work can reap a reward for you, and you're putting in place the extra traction to inch you to where you want to get. So don't expect to get there this week in full, but you're certainly inching towards that point. But your intent can be strengthened considerably.